Alright guys, in this video we're going to go ahead and make it so that we can take a GitHub username and make a request to our backend and then make a request to the GitHub API to get the repositories of the user. Now in order to do this you need to go to github.com/settings/developers so that you can register a new OAuth app to get your client ID and client secret. Otherwise you'll only be able to make like 50 requests per hour or something like that. So just fill this out. You can put your local host for your home page and callback. I've already done it, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this one, and you can see I have my client ID and client secret. Now what I'm going to do is put these in our config values or our global variables. So we'll copy that and go to our config, and then we want our default.json, and let's add GitHub. We'll do GitHub client ID and paste that in, and then we also want to add comma. We want to add our GitHub secret. Okay, so I'll go ahead and copy that as well and put that right in there. All right, so we'll save that, and then we're going to go back to our profile.js route file, and I'll go ahead and just copy that. And we want to create a new route. So this is going to be a GET request to API profile /GitHub, and then we want to put slash and then the username. Okay, so this will get user repos from GitHub. And this is going to be public because viewing a profile is public. Anyone can view profiles, so we want to be able to show the repositories there. So let's do a router.get, and we want to hit /GitHub/:username, and let's put our request response, and I'm going to do a try catch here, and let's just console error. And then we'll do a res.status of 500. Okay, so inside the try here, first thing I'm going to do is construct an options object that has a URI, and what we'll do is we'll plug this into request, which I actually have to bring in. Remember we installed that request package. If we look in package.json right here, request. So we want to make sure that we bring that in so that we can use it. So let's say const request equals require request, and then we're also going to need to use our config, so let's bring that in as well while we're at it. So config excuse me, and config. Alright, so now let's continue building this options URI. So we're going to do HTTPS. We want to hit api.github.com, and it's going to be /users/ and then we want that username that's being passed in through the URL, which we can get with request.params.username and then /repos. Okay, now we need to add a few parameters on here, including the client ID and client secret. But I also want to add, I'm going to put a question mark here, and I want to add per page because I only want 5. So I'm going to put in 5 here. And then let's do ampersand and let's sort it. So we'll do sort equals, and we want to sort it by created, so the create date, and we want that to be ascending. All right, so we'll do that. And then let's do ampersand, and now we want to add our client_ID parameter, which we're going to get from config.get, and what do we call it, GitHub client ID, and then we'll do another ampersand, but we want to do client_secret, and we'll set that to config.get, and we called that GitHub secret. Okay, so that should do it for the URI. Now we also want to specify the method of request, which is going to be get, and then finally we want to add to the headers. I was having issues without this, so we need to add this user agent, and we can set that to Node.js. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and give that a save. Now underneath the options object, we're going to make our request. So let's do request, and this takes in our options and then a callback, which will give us a possible error, a response object, and body. All right, so we'll use an arrow function here, and let's just go ahead and check for the error. So if there's an error, let's just console error that. And then we want to check for a 200 response. If it's not a 200 response, then let's send back a 404 error and just say the profile isn't found. So we can test for the response, the status, by saying response.status code. So we'll say if that's not equal to 200, then let's send back a status of 404 not found, and then just add some JSON in here, and we'll go ahead and just say message, and we'll say no GitHub profile found. Okay, so if it is found, then we just want to res.json, and we want to send the body that's going to contain it. Now this body is not going to, it's just basically going to be a regular string with escaped quotes and stuff like that. So we want to surround this with json.parse before we send it, like that. All right, so we'll save, and let's go ahead and test it out. So we'll make a GET request to localhost, and let's do API profile GitHub / Brad Traversy. And there we go. So you can see what we're getting is an array of the last 5 repositories, and React File Uploader is my most recent, so that's going to be the first one listed. And it gives us a lot of stuff. So if you wanted to make the profiles much more in depth in terms of GitHub repositories, you could use all this stuff. Okay, so there's the second one, face recognition examples, Nest.js REST API. So there should be 5 of them. Okay, and if you want to change the number, just change that per page parameter. So I'm going to go ahead and save this as get GitHub repos. Now, if I send something that is not a valid name, like let's just put, I'm sure that isn't a valid name, we just get no GitHub profile found, which is good. So we should be all, oh, wait a minute, what's this? Oh, header's already sent. So we just got to put a return here. All right, so if we do that, we shouldn't get that error. Okay, so that's it. Now in the next section, we're going to start to work on posts. We have our user and authentication stuff all set up, all of our profile actions, profile routes. So in the next video, we're going to start on posts, where we can create posts, delete them, we can update them, we'll be able to add likes to a post, we'll be able to add comments, so quite a bit to do there. And then after that, we should be done with our backend, and we should be ready to move on to React. All right, so I'll see you in the next section.